How's it going, everybody? My name is Azabiel, and I am the Guild Master of the Guild of Legends located in the heart of the multiverse. And we're back in the HiVECORE Minecraft server. Planning to start up a new build right around here. As you can see on the sign, this is going to be the Spire of Askuraan. That is going to be a sort of a tower. Not really a tower you can go into, but a little obelisk devoted to a powerful lich character from one of my D&D settings. I was doing this build using Deep Slade and Soul Sand for that blue fire, so I thought going with the undead theme with the Soul Sand and everything felt right. I do have a little divot in the ground here, so I'm going to go grab some dirt and I'm going to fill that in and then we're going to get started. I could actually probably fill it in with materials that I'm going to be pulling out of the ground here because I'm not going to be building on the surface. I'm going to dig down a layer and build uh, the first layer in the ground, at least. But let's see. Let me pull up my stuff here. I do have to go and check my notes on this build real quick with my materials here and just verify what is what. Because what it says on the schematic and what I have in my materials are not the same. I took a schematic that I liked and I've immediately made changes to it, so we're going to have to account for that. And I think some of my changes aren't even direct changing one type of block for another type of similar type of block. It's changing out entirely different block styles. So, for example, in my schematic, what might refer to as an example, a redstone lamp, I'm instead doing soul sand that I'm going to ignite because the way this build works, the fire, I think, is going to look really good. Um, so I'm just going to have to kind of browse my materials here and remind myself what becomes what. Because when I'm looking at the actual schematic, it's going to refer to things by what the materials were, not the materials that I'm actually using. Um, so, let's see. I believe I'm trading oak fences out for polished deep slate walls. Looks about right. My stone slabs are trading out for polished deep slate slabs. Because a lot of the schematics that I see don't use deep slate, which is a real shame. Either they were schematics made before deep slate was a thing, or just or they were just not the popular uh piece to pick. So, um, let me just make sure not being snuck up on by anyone real quick while I'm looking at things here. Um, let's see. I have a few of these. Um, so the cobbled deep slate will be in place of cracked stone bricks. The stone bricks will use deep slate bricks. The chiseled stone bricks are going to be chiseled deep slate. And then my plain stone will be deep slate tiles. Um, all right. So thank you for sitting by while I did that. Because I know that not the most exciting part of the process. But now I can actually open up the schematic and I can open up the blueprint and actually know what I'm doing. And it starts with a big circle, and I want to just count out to make sure I was doing my um, marking correctly. Okay, so this isn't. Oh, no, that would still only be 30. So I am off by a tile. I'm gonna have to replace my markers here because they are not accurate to what this should be, at least not on that plane. I'll have to check the other direction as well. Okay, so that one is right. That is 31 between there and there. And on this one, like normally I do my markers on the outside of the boundaries I'm going to be working in. But this is a rounded structure, so it didn't hurt to have the torches on the actual inside. And, I'm apparently not the most consistent when it comes to these things. Okay, so I must have miscounted because that actually was accurate. So I've got 31 on each axis. That means I am ready to go. Um, I don't have this all lit up, so you know, the downside of not setting up all my builds, like Regio from Novaswarm, he's very you can actually see here his torchlight grid for building out the tavern and stuff, which I mean the framework from here looks incredible, and I am super excited to see where we go from there. Um, Jammy and Regio both have a much clearer eye for the architectural design and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I wasn't as much help as I was hoping to be when we were working on that the other day. But I am trying to do little bits here and there, provide input where I can. But honestly, the bulk of the work is on those guys. They are incredible at what they're doing. Um, I think the architecture is really my weak point. So I'll probably try to help on filling it in and stuff like that once we get there. Um, But now that we have this ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this dirt block because these guys are leaving their trash around. Maybe we'll see if, let's see, maybe we'll jump into one of the Minecraft channels on the HiVECORE server, just in case anyone else pops in and wants to say hi. Because right now I'm not in one of their voice channels yet, so we'll pop in there. And I expect, I'm not expecting anyone to pop in or anything, but if they do, then they can say hi, and that will be just fine. Um, I took off my armor for kind of the intro bit there, but I'm gonna put that back on. I'm not using this spruce, so take that off. I'm not going to be using my oak, so or I'm not going to be using my axe, so I'll put that away. The shovel and the pickaxe are going to get me through this. We'll just load up the inventory with all of our materials that we have gathered. Um, and we'll be ready to go. Let's see what materials we have on the base level. So okay, actually, it looks like I was misinterpreting this. So we actually are going to be building right on the surface. So I am going to go ahead and fill in this hole. TCK Gaming 08 now following. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you coming by. So we'll just go salvage some dirt from over here, fill in that pit, and finally we'll get started like I said we would a minute ago. Don't like these floating blocks, so I'll just get rid of those anyway. I don't know how much dirt I need for this bit, because I didn't count it, but we're going to hope this is enough. The scaffolding tower here should be the height of the Spire of Askuraan, though I'm planning to do some custom modifications after we finish building the main structure, to add a sort of a beacon at the top of it that will extend a little bit higher than that. So we'll see how that turns out when we get there. What do I need? 7 more. And so we'll see how that beacon part turns out. I don't know exactly how I want to do it. I just know that I want to have a blue burning flame at the top of it, which will go along with it having some blue flames surrounding the main spire as well. Let's go ahead and fill this in. And this schematic that I'm pulling from actually does a thing that I don't do very often, where they mash together a bunch of different blocks of similar type to where it shows, to where it looks like wear and tear on the structure. I don't often do that on my builds. The the stuff I had done at Atlan Grove across the river is a good example of that. I built it very clean and pristine looking, because at least in that case, that was the kind of style I wanted to go for. I wanted it to feel very clean, and like there was no even slight damage to it, right? Um, okay, so it looks like the outside of our circle is going to be done with the deep slate, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our circle first, and then filling everything in should be pretty easy. I just need to figure out how far in this is. Just give me one moment here. Okay, looks like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom. So if we do this, and it's going to be 7 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Just had to make sure I did that right, because I'm working with a somewhat large footprint here. And I'm dealing in a rounded shape, which Minecraft isn't, you know, super familiar with round shapes. Now, if I did this right, this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. So we just do that 3 more times. And just double check it each time just to make sure, because if I get it wrong here, then it's going to mess up everything else, and it's going to be harder to fix down the line. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Whoops. That one kind of went in the wrong space there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, and we already counted out this one when we started, I'm pretty sure. That's how we got it there in the first place. So that is the outside of our structure. Still have some slabs. I'm guessing these will come in handy a little bit later. But now we're going to be dealing in a larger variety of blocks. So this bit is maybe going to go a bit slow. But just like a printer, we're probably going to be going line by line by line until we reach the other side. So I don't know what that sound was. It sounded like a splashing noise, but it shouldn't have been able to happen up here. It's not super important though. So right out the gate, we're going to be using our deep slate bricks. So we'll grab one of those. We're going to be using deep slate tiles. So we'll grab one of those. And we're going to be using chiseled deep slate. So we'll grab one of those. And I just need to remember each time what I am, how I'm converting these. Okay, so look at this. Yeah, you can see the difference between the bricks and the tiles. Doesn't necessarily look like wear and tear the way that, say, using smooth stone and stone bricks and all that would. Actually, honestly, smooth stone and stone bricks doesn't really look like wear and tear to me, because they both look like complete features. But like the cracked stone bricks and stuff like that really do. Which instead of the cracked stone bricks, we're using cobbled deep slate. So hopefully that will accomplish that look. And for when that comes up, we will have this. Because yeah, even if this was the normal stone, be chiseled, it'd be smooth, not smooth stone, but normal stone and then stone bricks. So it wouldn't look too much different from this, honestly. I'm gonna do a couple more chiseled. By a brick followed by tile. Followed by correct. Okay, so now I'm looking at this, and it's hard to really gauge how it'll look without the full floor drawn, but I think having the different blocks to kind of break up the monotony of the patterns is as much as I don't do that usually, I do understand the purpose behind it, and I do think that it definitely uh, it definitely provides something that you wouldn't get otherwise. Um, and the only reason I'm being so careful with this is because I do have these specific amounts of materials prepared for this. Um, I could just throw this in basically willy nilly for this floor, and it would probably look fine because there's not really like a pattern to it. It's just kind of the chaos of wear and tear that the structure would have had occur to it over time. But because I do have a very specific arrangement of materials prepared, I do want to make sure that I'm not just throwing things in and then running out of materials. Um, so we are kind of in for the long haul here with how long this is going to take, probably. Um, Honestly, I would expect the floor to be the part that takes the longest. Not only is it probably more blocks than, it's probably half of the build in terms of like raw materials. Um, but it's also the most monotonous part. Just actually building um, the main structure and kind of the points around it will probably go a lot faster. And then with each block, I have to make sure I'm using the right pieces because I have them um, converted from what they normally are. Now, one thing I don't have prepared um, is grass and dirt blocks, which are included in here. So I'll probably have to fetch some dirt after the fact. Or I might just throw in soul sand, because soul sand is the only thing that I have in excess. Because I'm planning to use it for the beacon. So we'll have to see. In place of grass, I might just do soul sand. That might be the way to go. Um, and you know what? Actually, just to have something, at the very least, to fill in the spaces, we'll actually do that. We'll put the soul sand in there in place of grass or dirt. Um, but yeah, I think that might actually like visually be a really good way to go in the end. And I was curious for a moment there to see if, because I noticed it was doing, obviously it didn't do it here, so I guess that already kind of debunked it. But I was seeing like this and these, and this, and thinking maybe they're supposed to be, um, the chiseled blocks all the way around the border, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So we're not going to worry about it. Um, okay, so we're going to get our bricks here. It's going to be this one, this one. It's going to be these two. Skip a gap, and then another two. And then we'll fill in those spaces. It's going to be tiles, tiles, tiles. Tiles on the other side as well. And we're going to have soul sand, more tiles, another soul sand, and more tiles. So, like this. All right, and starting to see it kind of come together. Obviously, this is only a small portion of it still, but it is good seeing some elements of it already coming into place. So next layer is going to be a couple of bricks, a gap, two more bricks. Oh, and we're going to have to deal with this guy. Throw his stuff in the chest here because we don't have room in our inventory for this. This is what layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is layer 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The main issue that I think we're going to run into is trying to keep straight what layer we're on. Because it is a very big space. Need cracked there, so the cobble. Got the soul sand, so it's going to be cobble, bricks, soul sand. And that's going to be tiles. Cobble bricks. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Soul sand tiles. Cobble for the next 4. And then a couple spots of sand, followed by 3 more cobble. All right, and I do like kind of taking a step back. Might be overdoing it, doing it at every layer, but just seeing how it's coming. Now, what I thought about doing, and it would do absolutely nothing for the process, really. But I was thinking I might do, I've done that side, then maybe I'd do this side and that side and that side, then do the square in the middle, because for some reason in my brain that sounded like a good idea. But I'm not going to do that. We're just going to continue layer by layer, because I think that's going to be the smoothest way to go. So we're working on layer 7 now, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is going to start with bricks, and then tiles. I do wish I had a better way of marking my place in the schematic here, but I don't. So I'm just having to kind of recount where I am each time. Um, Gonna be sand, cobble, tiles. Sand, cobble, tiles. Sand, tiles, cobble. Oh, and it's still night, so we've still got some less than savory characters to deal with every now and then. All right, and it's definitely going to slow this process down. So hopefully we won't be here for an entire half of the stream. I waited till I was taking a drink to try to get me while I'm disadvantaged. At a disadvantage, rather. It was a weird way to say that. You know what, Spider? Let's deal with you too. This may be an undead slaying sword, but I can still take you out. All right. Now let's find our place again. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the 9th block on layer 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. So this should be cobble. So it'll be sand, 3 cobble, sand, cobble. Then we're going to have tiles. 3 tiles and then a sand. And then that's going to be cobble. Bricks, bricks, tiles, cobble. Cobble on both sides. Bricks, bricks, tiles. All right. Again, I'm doing the check at the very end. The nice thing is, you know, it's going to get progressively slower until we get to here, but then once we finish this layer, it all gets faster. So as we near the end of this level, it'll start to feel a little bit better as we go along. So we're on layer 8. We're starting with a chisel. Tiles, bricks, bricks. And we're going to have a couple of sand, tiles in the middle. Then cobble, another sand, and another tiles. Would be cobble, 3 tiles, brick. Sand, tiles, sand, tiles. And then to finish off the last 4 spaces, brick, tiles, cobble, chisel. Brick, tiles, cobble, chisel. Right, that'll be layer 9. Oh, I feel so foolish. I absolutely could have been using these edges to reference instead of just counting out the layers like I'd been doing. It is raining, but I don't think it's even night, is it? I can't tell. Um, so hopefully I'll start getting faster on this because I just realized this reference point that I have that completely skipped my mind before. It's going to be cobble, tiles, cobble, brick, cobble, tiles, cobble, brick, and then sand. And then next to that sand, it's going to be cobble, tiles, tiles, brick, brick. And next to those bricks, it's going to be cobble, brick, brick, tile, tile. Next to those tiles, it's going to be... Oh, that's interesting. So, one element I left out of this is the schematic calls for redstone ore, which is what it would have right here. That redstone ore makes no sense because, I mean, first of all, ore as a building material isn't doing me any good. Like, it's not serving the purpose of powering anything because it's ore. It's not like redstone block or anything like that. And I think it's just another sign that you know this was maybe done with maybe they felt like the redstone ore. He blew up in time with that lightning, but I don't think that was I don't think that was related. um, Yeah, so instead of the redstone ore, I'll just use more soul sand. Maybe what I'll do is actually replace these ones with soul soil, because that is a material we have access to. And, you know, hmm, I actually, you know what I'll do? I'm going to use the soil. So I'm going to go back to my house. I'm going to grab that soil. But I'm not going to necessarily just put it there. I am going to use it in place of where the schematic uh, marks the difference between dirt and grass. So where there's grass, there will be sand, and where there's dirt, there will be soil. I don't know if we'll have enough. We've only got 17, but we can certainly give it a shot. We are soil there, and on this layer we had a dirt. So I'll put the soul soil in anywhere it mentions dirt or the redstone ore. Um, So excuse the bit of silence there, but absolutely. If you haven't, if you're not familiar, definitely check out Nefeltanen on Twitch and Dragon Durant on YouTube. You can find links to those guys in the About page on my Twitch, where I've listed my Project HiVECORE collaborators and other streamer buddies. Um, these guys are fantastic, and you should definitely give them some love. Uh, let's get back into it. So we're going to have tiles. We're going to have a couple of bricks, and then we're going to have a cobble. Following that cobble, we're going to have tiles, sand, bricks, tiles. Um, actually, now that I have finished this layer, take a step back, take a look at it. What I might do if I have enough soil is I might come in and kind of mix it up a little bit into where the soul sand is. Of course, that relies on me having enough. I could always go get more, but if I don't have to, I would rather not. We'll go ahead and pull this down because it's not serving a practical purpose anymore. I mostly needed it while I was trying to figure out how visible the spire would be from ground level. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't far enough back that you wouldn't even see it if you were down there. Obviously, from up here, you can see all the way to the tavern. It starts getting lost in my render distance, but from down there, depending on the settings of whoever is looking, you'll be able to see the spire and its flaming beacon once it's all done. And I am looking forward to seeing that. Uh, hopefully, this one I'll actually finish. I've left the fountain of Atlan Grove a little untended to. Um, I've only done about a third of its water currently, so it's still very much a dry fountain, which is just unfortunate. Um, and I'll have to get around to that eventually. But from the looks of it, I should have enough soil with maybe 2 blocks left over to kind of scatter into the rest of this. So we'll just go. Oh, actually, I'll probably have 5 blocks of soil left over, actually. Um, yeah. So I'll have 5 blocks of soil left over that I can mix in with the soul sand to kind of mix it up even more. Uh, And then the sand I'll actually have plenty left over because I think this layer is the only one that actually uses the soul sand and the soil probably. The next layer might use a little bit too because I think it's like a third layer, a third level on top of the platform. First level being the half, second being the full block, and third I think being another full block on top of that. But I'll have to see once I finish this level because I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, getting back into it, we're gonna have a chiseled, and then we're gonna have a cracked. Um, we've got some guy lurking here. We're gonna take him out, put his stuff away. It'll be nice once I start clearing out some of my inventory, so I don't feel like I have to drop stuff in the chest every single time to make sure I have room for anything else I might pick up. But we'll get there eventually. I think the some of these blocks are starting to run low, so hopefully hopefully we'll get through here. Um, Let's see. We're gonna have a few bricks followed by tiles. It kind of bugs me when I drop into this. I think because it drops me like a single pixel on the block lower. If I'm far enough forward, it doesn't let me actually place the block because I'm in the way. Which I didn't know this actually had a dip in elevation with soul sand. I don't think normal sand does that. I could be wrong though. All right. But let's not get too distracted. There's our tiles. So it's going to be cobble, followed by a few more bricks, a stone, and a bricks. By stone, I mean tiles. I'm mixing my materials around. Another cobble and a tile. And we're going to have 3 more bricks and a tile. Then we're going to have 3 cobble, it looks like. Then we're going to have a sand, tile, sand. Let's see. Sand, space, sand, space, sand. Do that. It's going to be a tile, a cobble, and a chisel. What I will say is it looks like the chisels they're only using on the outsides. I think because they're being used in the places where... Actually, maybe not. I think they might their placements might be slightly related to the outer circle of points that surround the main spire. But not fully from the looks of it, because like we have... I believe the outer circle of points are symmetrical all around, and these certainly are not. Yeah, we did our layer. It's starting to look good. I do think, you know, the brown of this soul sand really very boldly breaks it up. Like, it is very different color-wise from the dark grays of all the deep slate stuff. But once we get the whole thing done, we'll see how it looks. I definitely think it looks better than having grass and dirt in there, because that would be green and brown instead of just brown. And the soul sand has that look of like skulls and whatnot, or faces or whatever you might want to interpret that as, across it, which is thematically really great because again, the Spire of Askuraan, named after a Lich Queen from a fantasy setting. So that's, you know, following that kind of spooky, that undead type stuff really fits. All right. Now, continuing on this layer, it's going to be bricks, cobble, tile. I'm going to switch this over here because the chisel gets used the least. These ones are definitely used the most frequently together. So it was bricks, cobble, tile. And there is a skeleton here. I don't want to have him mess up my placements by knocking me into something. Knocking me around when I'm trying to place blocks. Wow, it is wild how much it's actually raining. You know, I'm actually going to put my shovel back. We'll keep this, and we'll keep the bread on the bar. I think that'll be a little bit better. And then we have 2 spaces open up again. That is a full-on thunderstorm. Which, you know, I don't have to worry about this burning down, but all of those structures are made of wood, so um, it has also been a little bit since I've slept, and I don't want to have to deal with phantoms, so I don't know if anyone else is going to sleep. Um, maybe not. Um, so if we do have phantoms, then we'll prompt everyone to sleep, but otherwise, I'm just going to go with it. I'm not too worried about it. I don't get too worried about phantoms, especially because I have a full suit of diamond armor, courtesy of Nova Swarm, having the entire server all, you know, easily able to gear up because those guys, uh, they 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 won the game. They beat the game. Minecraft is no challenger to face Nova Swarm. It is no contest. Uh, they came in swinging, and Minecraft lost for sure. Um, yeah, let's keep it going. So that was brick, cobble, tiles on the second of these three. Uh, brick, cobble, tiles, cobble, tile, tile. Followed by a couple more cobbled and a brick. Followed by tile, brick, tile. Um, it's going to be in there, cobble. Let's see, it's going to be 2, a gap, and then 2. That gap is going to be brick. Don't ask me why I feel like that's the easiest way to do it sometimes. Um, I think just it, or, you know, maybe do ask. I'm going to explain it anyway. I do feel like using more of the same brick in one thing keeps it going a little bit faster because then, um, you know, I can fill out most of the pattern potentially, and then I can place more blocks without having to stop and switch to the next block and then switch back. Um, so it does feel a little bit more expedient. Um, so that's going to be a brick in the middle and then a dirt or a sand on the outside. It's going to be, what was that? Another cobble. Yeah, see, those lightning strikes are why we would want to sleep. Because if the tavern gets hit, that's a lot of work undone because that is the biggest, most complex structure around here. If my house gets hit, you know, I would just deal with it. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Jammy's house is built into the hill, so she's pretty thoroughly covered. The fishing dock, though, would be a shame to lose. It's a pretty simple structure, but it'd be a shame to have to rebuild it. And if it hit our little barn here, our little stable, uh, that could potentially set free all of the animals that we have, which would be a pain to try to corral once more. Um, Hitting the greenhouse, it's a lot less likely that it would hit the wood because much of it is glass, and the ceiling isn't even fully put in yet. So um, that one wouldn't be too bad just because it is largely glass. But you got to be careful with those lightning strikes. I'd almost be tempted to throw some lightning rods down there to make sure lightning isn't going to strike the actual structures and instead be pulled away somewhere safe. Let me see. 128 blocks. So I'd have to put them up on a spire, and I would have to make sure they encompass enough stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to head down here. We're going to grab some materials and put in some lightning rods real quick to try to ensure our little cozy homestead here is kept safe. Let's grab that, and let's grab copper. I don't know how many I'm gonna need, so let's do this. I actually did that poorly. There we go. And I'll just use soul sand to build myself a spire. Let's see. Let's be within 120. I'm not even gonna like bother counting things out. I'm just going to place a few because I know I've got a few. That is exactly what we're looking for, what just happened. Because this area, I don't know how thunderstorms work with the biomes, but it seems like this area, you know, there's a lot of rain, there's a lot of thunderstorms. So having some protections in place definitely makes sense. It goes out 128 blocks, so I think everything over here should be fine. The greenhouse is probably good. Next one we'll just put on the other side here. I'll just kind of dip over here. We just want to make sure we're decently higher than everything. Because apparently it has to be on the highest point. I'll drop down. Yeah, because normally when it does get a thunderstorm, people are pretty quick to sleep through it to make sure it passes. Especially Nova Swarm, they're very keen on the mechanics of the game and they know how it all works very thoroughly. So they always make sure, you know, if they're on when it happens, you know, one of them is usually pretty quick to get people to sleep. And, you know, I don't know how necessary it is over here, but we'll put one up just in case. I don't know if this is within the 128 range, but it very well might be, but we're going to do one here anyway. We'll just go to the top of the hill here. Oh, this guy. Take you out. Go up here. So I'll make sure we're above the structures. Oops. There we go. All right. And I finished just in time for the rain to stop. But now we do have those lightning rods in place. Um, so if anything like that happens, we don't have to worry about any of our structures getting struck by lightning and burning down. Because I'm pretty sure that is a very legitimate threat. And until they added copper, there wasn't really a way to protect yourself against it. If I'm completely wrong, then oh well. I'm gonna go ahead and put our things away. And get back up the hill. Get back to building. I easily could have gone just like to the top of one of their buildings and put it on top there. Um, and just had it high enough that nothing was gonna get set on fire by a lightning strike. Because I think like the blocks around it can still catch, but I don't think the block that it's on can. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think it can. Um, because I've seen structures that had, I've seen builds that people did where they had a lightning rod on top of a wooden structure that had like some redstone stuff set up on top of it. And like the redstone would flare up because the lightning rod will activate redstone things. Um, but the entire structure wouldn't like burn down or something. Um, but yeah, there we go. I don't know. Yeah, it's supposed to be a radius of 128 blocks, so this is probably overkill. If I just did the one, it'd probably be good. Um, because I mean, like the edge of that down to like this wall is something like 60 blocks, I think. 65 maybe, because I think this was like there was like a 65 square in this, and that was the bulk of it. So maybe a little bit further, might be 70 or so. Um, but yeah, that definitely goes out like probably to the river, goes out past this hill, probably covers all the way over to here. I could be wrong about that. I haven't counted it out. I have no idea how much space it actually is, but a little redundancy just for good measure never hurts. But we've got to get back to our build here. And we're still going a little bit slow here. But we're gonna have, looks like tiles, soil, tiles, tiles. Oh, and I actually did have something left on off of here, my cobbled deep slate. Important to have that readily available. Let's top off our stuff here a little bit. Um, there we go. So we've got some more space in our inventory here. I'm just going to try to do a quick bit of sorting real quick because I want to be able to keep my materials straight. And then we can start on the next layer. We're maybe about a third of the way done because these center parts are a bit wider. I think visually we are probably right around the 1/3 point or close to it at least. Let's see. Then we've got a skeleton, of course. It is night, so we have to deal with enemy spawns. but that's not a big deal. We're going to have 3 tiles in a row followed by a cobble. And I got another skeleton. And that right there is the thing I want to avoid the most. We're going to try to deal with him over here. Oh, that I must have swung my sword a little bit faster because it took me an extra strike from what I had anticipated to take it out, but it worked out in the end. Did push a bit closer to it actually exploding, though. All right. So we've got the cobble, so we're going to have soil and a tile. And I actually didn't top off all my materials like I intended. Yeah, look at that. We're an hour in and we're like only a third done with the base of this. So this might be a multi-stream build. Almost certainly will be. Uh, you even have a shield, bro. How? Apparently he didn't have a shield, I guess. Uh, there is one aspect of this build that I had foregone because it would take a long time to do, and that is getting glowstone. Because again, this spire isn't it isn't like a tower you can enter. Um, it is entirely filled. Uh, like the inside of the main spire has glowstone in it to where it lights up and you can see it from a good distance. But I was also thinking that going along with like the blue fire with the soul sand and everything, what I might do is see if down the line I can get enough material together to make enough sea lanterns instead to give it a blue glow. Because I think that would look thematically a lot better. Um, the blue fire, the blue lights, I think all that going together would look really good, better than the orange glow of glowstone alongside the blue fires. um but let's try to not get too distracted like I'm clearly doing. um Bricks space, bricks space. Hold on, bricks space, bricks space, bricks space. That's annoying. Having to deal with skeletons while you're trying to figure out things like this. Um, let me see. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so bricks. Space, bricks, space, bricks. And then those spaces are going to be filled in with cobble. Like so. Yeah, and seeing this now that more of the floor is filled out, I think the cobble really does do the job of like cracked bricks. Thankfully this block didn't get destroyed. And thankfully these deep slate is really strong against explosions, apparently. I had no idea it was that tough. I figured it'd be similar to normal stone, but I guess deep slate is made of tougher stuff. Which, that works. Askuraan, the Lich Queen, is not a frail figure. Liches very often are presented as kind of glass cannon caster types, but and you might be able to determine some of the inspiration for how I like to do my undead. But having tough tanky undead is always fun, especially when they're such a prominent character. someone who might be running around in actual like heavy plate armor. Um, I also like kind of the spell knight character archetype, so that's a big part of it as well. I know when I played Dragon Age, and um, there's been a handful of times where I've tried to do it with D&D as well. Uh, though 5e isn't super well designed for kind of martial casters unless you're just playing as a paladin or something. Um, you don't have the full vibe of being like a full caster and also wearing heavy plate armor without being like a funky multi-class or something. And I don't like multi-classing in 5e usually, so um, I feel like it's too diminishing of some of your power. Um, but it seems like one D&D might be changing things up enough to make it to where that's not as much of an issue. But I've seen people talking about how that might be an issue in itself. The idea where you can dip a class and get even more power out of it than you would have normally. Um, but I think that is for the best. Like, I feel like you should be able to multi-class and get a fair amount of power that goes with you and stays relevant your entire adventuring career, rather than taking a slow level dip. Say you take like a level of um, paladin, or a couple levels of paladin or a couple levels of rogue compared to many levels of any other class. Your sneak attack from your rogue or your divine smite from your paladin are just going to be incredibly weak unless you have, in the case of paladin, you can kind of get by it by um these creepers are gonna make me lose my mind. um with the paladin, you get kind of get by it because you can actually use spell slots from other classes for your divine smite. So that was a bad example, I guess. But like the rogue is a really good example of your uh secondary, tertiary, whatever class not holding up as well as your primary. Or fourth layer. Let me just see if I can replace these real quick. Um, I don't know if any of my bricks got destroyed. Hopefully they didn't. Soul sand getting destroyed wouldn't be the end of the world because I have plenty of that. But the deep slate, it would be a pain because then I'd just have to go back to Novatown, um, or I would have to dig down to get my own deep slate, and that'd just be tedious. Um, all right, we have a tile here. Now that I've finished with my talking about multi-classing in D&D, and get back to actually building. Um, that's going to be, I think, a brick and another cracked. That's going to be a couple tiles. Couple cracked. A space and another cracked. And that space, I think, is going to be brick. Let me double check. Yeah, brick there, brick next, brick on the end. And a sand in between. All right, now these next 7 layers are going to be only by 2 bricks on each side, but they're going to be the longest part of this, but hopefully be the longest part of it and the hardest to track because I'll have to kind of count which of these blocks I'm on. Potentially as I get to the middle, it'd be easier to mix them up, but also, again, the exact design of this floor isn't really the primary concern, um, because it is just kind of a mess of blocks. So it's not like there's a pattern that I'm trying to replicate, but I do want to just go with the layout they provide again because limited materials. Brick and then a sand. Um, Yeah, well, I've got the sand here. I know it's going to do that. I wouldn't normally do that, going out that way into the other layers, but it's a bunch of sand that's all clustered together, so it's kind of easy to sort out. So brick, couple of bricks. Tiles, cracked, tiles, 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 tiles. Brick, cracked, brick. Um, brick, cracked, brick, cracked, brick, cracked. Tiles. And 2 more tiles here. It's going to be a brick. We brick over here. And then cracked and chiseled. I'm started going the opposite direction here, which might throw me off a little bit. So let's actually go back to this side, because I have been doing it left to right the entire time. I don't want to start mixing it up now. You're going to start with a tile, and then a few cracked. We've got the sand in already. We're going to have some bricks. Hold on. That's not supposed to be bricks. That's supposed to be tiles. Bricks come next. Followed by another tile. Followed by cracked. Also, for anyone who is watching, I understand that this may not be the most exciting stuff to watch. But if you are here, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for coming by. Eliazuria, where are you building this? I'm building this. I don't know when this message was. I had some of my notes covering it up. I'm building it on top of the hill that Jammy's house is built into, right near our little area and the tavern and stuff down there. So we're going to have this horrible, evil-looking spire up on top of the hill. I just came in. Okay. I thought that might have been a new message, but I just wanted... I wasn't super sure. Because I'm good at streaming. TM. But yeah, I was talking to Jamie at one point, and I have a habit of building towers in Minecraft, usually like these kind of like wizard tower looking things. And I was talking to Jamie about the idea of building a tower up on top of the hill, and she said something about Lord of the Rings. So I was like, well, maybe we'd do one with a big flaming beacon on it then. And then we've got over in Cat City, we've got the tower with the flaming beacon that Meg built. So this will be another kind of thing like that. It won't be a big, enterable tower like that, but it'll be a neat little landmark, I hope. But yeah, I'm building it with soul sand and such, so I can do little bits of blue fire around it, because I think even outside the nether, that stuff still burns, right? So that's the goal. There's supposed to be lights in the center of the spire that I have yet to build, but it's supposed to be glowstone, but I decided I didn't want to farm out that much glowstone, and I was thinking I might instead try to replace it with sea lanterns over time, eventually. Anyway, But it'd be a lot. It'd be like 100 and something. If you need frog lights, let me know for some magic glowy stuff. I am not familiar with frog lights at all, so I'll have to look into that. But that might be kind of cool. Um, with the soul sand fire and stuff, this is gonna have a lot of blue to it. Um, green, orange, and pink. I have an area in the nether I can get them from. Um, I'd be kind of interested in maybe checking out the pink ones and see how those look. Because I didn't want to, after coming up with the idea of doing the blue fire with the soul sand, I decided that I didn't want to do like the orange of glowstone anyway. So, but pink and blue tend to look pretty good together, having the main structure be lit up. Maybe something involving that if they're not too expensive of a material to acquire. Bring some over after you're finishing. Sounds good. We'll take a look. Um, I will hopefully have made some more progress on the base layer in that time. It is slow going because it is like half of the materials for the build are just in the base of it alone. Let me remind myself where I'm at. Right there. That's going to be tiles. Frog lights are way easier to get than sea lanterns. Yeah, so that might be the way to go. Because sea lanterns are a lot of work. Very slow to acquire. Just got. I lost my place immediately. More tiles. God, I love deep slate. One of my favorite blocks that they've added for just general building. As almost every structure involved with the Nova Swarm builds shows. Oh, dragon got a shield after dying to a skeleton. That's good. I should get myself a shield. I think I have materials for it even. I just haven't gotten around to actually building one. Okay, I'm gonna need a couple of bricks here. And then hold on. Sand, bricks. Should be tiles, bricks. Listen, buddy, I'm trying to figure something out. I'm just gonna need you to go away. Let's see. This is dirt. Tiles. Cracked. Tiles. Brick. Buddy, don't got the time. Yes, it'd be brick. Tiles. Hold on. That works. Why did that feel like that wouldn't work? Damn. Tiles, cracked. Tiles. Brick. Tiles. Multitasking while fighting zombies is not pleasant. Brick. Okay, so I don't know where my issue with counting those blocks out went, but I felt like something didn't add up, and then it turned out everything did add up. So it all worked out in the end. Let's just top off our, whoops, wrong one. Our materials here. The chiseled, I think, are used mainly in the main structure and the points surrounding it. So I think that's why we haven't used a ton of chiseled deep slate just yet. You need to go. Now we're on the third layer of these. That's going to start with cracked. followed by some bricks. Hit our sand. Get some more cracked. Space, another cracked. That's going to be a brick. Whoops. Didn't mean to place that there. For moments like this where I'm just like doing a drawn out building thing, I do wish the music was more consistent because I am a lot less talkative when I'm trying to figure these things out. Not that I'm super talkative anyway. I'm very quiet. But, you know, that's beside the point. Where am I? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be a tile. It's a very abundant resource. It sure is. It's super abundant, and it's got a lot of customization to it. So it kind of hits all the things that make it a great main building piece. Copper also, you know, there's a lot of variety to it because they have the different levels of oxidation, but it didn't really pan out as much of a building material as I would have thought upon initially seeing it. Buddy, I've had it with you and your bows. Yeah. All right. So I'm right here. That's going to be tile, soil, a brick. Hold on. This didn't add up. I've messed it up again. Again, this isn't that high stakes of a thing, but I still feel the need to do it right. I already had the tile there. That was the issue. It was brick, brick, tile, sand. Or soil, rather. Brick. Tile. There we go. That'll be cracked. A couple of tiles. Space and a couple more tiles. It's going to be... Hold on. That's going to be a brick. That'll be cracked. Is that soil? Yeah. Cracked, soil, cracked. Followed by some sand. Looks like cracked, brick, tiles. Tiles we already have there. So cracked, brick. All right, it's shaping up. We're about at the halfway point of this level. And that's going to start with a brick. Couple of tiles. Couple of bricks. I wish I could do this and also... God, that's the problem with doing like patterns, or... Which I'm kind of treating this as if it were a pattern, even though it's just a mess. It's harder for me to even slightly think about something else, like something to talk about while actively doing the building. So I'm just falling quiet for a lot of this, just mumbling about bricks and tiles. Well, that's interesting. This follows suit with the level before it just a little bit. And then that's where it separates. Brick, tile, brick, cracked. Cracked. Tile. Another cracked. Several tiles. It's going to be a sand. And a cracked. Tiles, brick, tiles. And is that cracked? All right, that is officially half of this platform. Only took us an hour and a half, which is, you know, half of the entire stream time. Gotten slightly sidetracked here and there, but, you know, maybe we'll try to push through and get this finished before this stream takes up the whole thing. Or before it takes up the whole stream. The stream isn't going to take up anything. This is going to start with a cracked. Gonna go a couple tiles. And a brick. The other side of the sand, we're gonna do a tile. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Gonna be a tile there, gonna be bricks either side. Brick there, gonna have cracked on either side. Elizuria has joined Azure. I have said that name wrong every time until now, because I apparently had never heard anyone say it, so I was just sounding it out. It sounds way cooler when it's said the proper way, though. Is that Novastorm's ace frontline mech pilot, Altani, Ellie, Dragonfly, Azure? Oh. Excuse me there. All right, that's now that I'm not distracted by people joining the server. I'm so easily distracted while doing these kinds of things. It's why my D&D prep takes so long, because like I'll get into it and I'll be like super focused for a little while, and then like I'll get a message on Discord or something, and I'll be like only half in my actual prep work after that point. Rigel's also joined. Got 2/3 of Nova Swarm here. Incredible. Okay, where am I? What am I doing? Who am I? Okay, I'm 2 up from a dirt, which means this is tiles. Stat Nova Swarms, Ace Engineer, Mech Pilot, Rigel, Rig, Hornet, Mikado. And of course, I get immediately distracted again. That's as much of Nova Swarm are we gonna get in Minecraft as Lyra's playing Final Fantasy. Yeah, I saw there was that notification that Lyra was caught up in something. I didn't know that was Final Fantasy, but I can absolutely understand getting some good Final Fantasy time in. It's been a while since I've played it, unfortunately. I'm gonna need to get back into it at some point and play through more than just the beginning of Endwalker. All right. Back to building. Stop getting distracted, me. All right. This is all right. I know where I'm at. I promise. It's gonna be cracked. Followed by another tile. Followed by a brick and another cracked. Cracked tile, brick, cracked. tile, brick, cracked, brick. Gonna have some tiles. And some more tiles. And some more bricks. Cracked, tiles, brick. All right, that layer I struggled to get through. But let's go and continue on. A couple of bricks. A couple of more bricks. We're gonna have some tiles. If this is gonna be a cracked. A couple of bricks between them. It's gonna be a tile. Couple more cracked. Cracked. Another cracked. And in between those, we're going to have... Oh, where am I? Tile, cracked, cracked, brick. And then a soil. I believe it's a bit hard to see, but yeah. That is a soil. Followed by some more bricks. Another cracked. Cracked's going to go there. They're going to be a tile in between. Tile in the end. A couple of bricks in there. If this build goes flawlessly and I don't end up with like mismatched materials by the end of it, that'll be fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere along this line, though, I mess up what I'm doing. Again, I am being way more strict on myself with this than I need to be. But that's just how it goes. That's just the way that I do this. And that's also why I don't do too much with kind of the mismatched blocks and stuff in Minecraft, like the wear and tear style that this is going for. This is why I don't do it so much, because I feel like, especially when I've collected all the materials in advance and gotten very specific amounts, no extra, no nothing too few, nothing too many, then if I do something different, then I'm gonna have my material counts off, and that is just the worst to me. That's why Atlan Grove is very particularly laid out. It's why I didn't do like a walkway or anything that has wear and tear on it. I just went with a very clean the marble blocks. Also because I just love the nether quartz. I like having that kind of marble look to stuff. And Atlan Grove, you know, being named after Atlantis, using nether quartz, which is kind of the stand-in for marble, it feels right. Those Greeks, they loved marble. They sure used it in abundance, it seemed like anyway. Gonna have tile here. And a whole bunch of cracked blocks, followed by several tiles, followed by a couple bricks, more tiles, another brick, more cracked, couple of sand, brick, some tiles, and is this chiseled? This is chiseled. All right, now each layer only gets shorter from this point on. We're over the halfway point. We're past the widest part of the circle. It only gets better from here. I don't know why I felt the need to place that one first. I'll be honest. Got some tiles. Gonna have cracked. Gonna have a soil. Gonna have bricks. Another cracked. Need to not lose my place. Tiles, tiles, space, tiles. We're going to do cracked in there. Brick, tiles, cracked. And then several tiles. Again, I just felt like I had to do that. Several bricks. And top it off with several bricks. And is that a cracked in between? No, that is tiles in between. All right, now if the rest of the layers can go as quickly and as smoothly as that one did, I will be done with this in no time. Let's top off our materials here real quick to make sure we're not going to run out in the middle of placing things. Cobbled there, and our bricks here. Really reduced the amount of materials we've got left. Let's do a little bit of quick sorting. Keep it all neat and tidy. And the next layer is going to start with a tile. We're going to cracked with a brick in between, several bricks, a couple of cracked, space, cracked, bricks in between. Hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bricks, 2 cracked, 1 brick, 1 cracked, 1 brick, 3 tiles. Okay. For some reason that wasn't looking right to me, but it turns out fine. Couple of cracked. That's going to be a sand. Cracked here, brick here. Another sand. Another cracked, and another tile. I really should light this up, but, you know. We've had a few enemies, but nothing too problematic to deal with. So we're going to start with chiseled and then right into a cracked. Because again, the placement of these chiseled ones almost look like they're following a pattern, maybe. But then we've got doubled up ones here. I don't think any of the spires are doubled up. I wonder if maybe that's a mistake on my part. It absolutely is. This isn't supposed to be chiseled. This is supposed to be cracked. Just like that. Okay, so yeah, those, yeah, so then the chiseled are specifically going to be for the spires. That one was the one that was throwing me off and maybe thinking maybe it wasn't, but yeah. Like looking at the designs for a blueprint and then actually getting to the process of building, I always get mixed up, even though I know what the general design is. Like, oh, Nev left the game. Wonder if she was just not by a bed or something. Well, all right then. All right, let's get back to where we were. We're making some good progress now, compared to the time we're putting into it. So let's try to keep up that pace. Couple of bricks, another sand, couple more bricks. I assure everyone who might be watching that the CRG, how's it going? Hi, D&D session is over. Now I'm visiting. Well, good to see you. I'm making a floor, and it's taken me almost 2 hours to get to this point because I'm struggling every now and then. What layer am I on? Okay, that's so. That's brick, cracked. That doesn't fit. That's not right. 4 bricks. Oh, that's because I was looking at the wrong layer. So this is probably all wrong. Hold on, let me just double check. Yep, okay. I had to be sure I knew what layer I'm on. Because this layer isn't supposed to have 4 in a row. So let me redetermine where I'm at. So next to this is going to be a couple tiles, another sand there. A couple of bricks here with some cracked in between. Either side. Another one there, another brick. Two more here. Put by a tile. A couple more of these. And we're going to have a couple soils here. Sand right next to them. A couple of bricks with tiles in between, I believe. And the last 4 spaces on this layer is going to be tiles here, tiles there. This one is going to be a chiseled. This one is going to be cracked. A floor to what? This is going to be the Spire of Askuraan. It is going to be sort of a... I referred to it earlier when I was talking to Neff and Dragon as a shrine to a Lich Queen. And then I think Neff decided that she was going to be that Lich. So, in case no one else had caught it, Nefeltannen is now canonically a Lich Queen. So, that's cool. And, you know, definitely canon to everything. I know when I think about space-based geologists and whatnot, I think, definitely a lich. Let's see, that's going to be a brick and a soil. Not a soil, a sand. A tile. A couple more bricks. And we're going to have a tile. It's going to be cracked in between them. But then we're going to have some more there. Cracked there as well. This is going to be soil. Definitely a very soil-rich section right here. It'll be brick, space, brick, cracked. Those spaces, cracked right here. It'll be a tile and a brick on the end. Sand here. Now this is where the 4 bricks that I was looking at earlier come from. Another sand. Another 2 bricks. Space and brick. Some more soil there. Cracked. Brick. Tile. Sand. Couple of bricks. Need to not lose my place. That's going to be tiles. The last 3 spaces are going to be cracked, brick, chiseled. uh, Alright, above this sand, we're actually going to have some more sand there. Made Vanny cry for like an hour. With D&D? Okay, it might be concerning otherwise. Alright, that should be the last of the sand I need to place on this entire level. Yeah, if it wasn't with D&D, that would be slightly concerning. Tiles with a brick in between. I'm looking at the wrong part. First of those layers. First of those layers, tiles, brick, tiles. How has this happened? No, this is right. That's right. There's supposed to be one here. I missed that. That explains it. Okay, that was throwing me off because I thought I placed all the sand already. I apparently missed one. There's something wild going on with these guys. Let's see. Oh, because she wasn't responding to his mention of planks. And that'll be cracked on this one. Ah, yeah, because there's one right there. They're not right next to each other. Gotta spruce this place up. Fantastic. Gotta love the wordplay. Bricks, space, bricks, space, bricks. Be cracked there. Cracked there. Tiles there. Between these two, it's going to be cracked. Between these two, it's going to be cracked. Between these two, it's going to be tiles. After these 3, it's going to be tiles. And then... where'd I go? Cracked, cracked. Bricks. I'm guessing this one is chiseled. No, this one is also cracked. So I guess there's a space of 2 between some of them. I would bet this next one then must be... No, next one isn't. It's the one up from there. So this one is going to be chiseled. This one is not. Okay, so going back to this layer, I'm going to start with some bricks, tiles, a couple of cracked. Sir, we don't have time. We're almost 2 hours in, and we've barely gotten started. All right, above the first sand is going to be tiles. Tiles next to it. Then a brick. Between these two is going to be tiles. Between these two is going to be cracked. This one's going to be bricked. Cracked. 2 bricks on the end. And a tile in between. Final of these kind of outer edge layers is going to be chiseled, like I said. Tile, tile, cracked, cracked. Tile, cracked. Brick, brick. My stream banter right now is a nightmare. It is truly awful. It is just rambling words relating to block types. But I truly cannot think enough to be able to... Building this wrong. Did I start doing this wrong? Am I looking at the wrong layer? Chiseled, cracked, brick, brick. Okay, we're good. Now in from this one, that's going to be chiseled. So there is that gap between them. So some of them have a bigger gap, like the corners have a bigger gap, and then some of them are 2, and some of them are 1. Okay. Got the tiles. Some cracked. Immediately lost my place. I'm looking at the wrong layer. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because it's supposed to be chiseled and then 4 bricks. And cracked. Another brick. And tile. Cracked in between. I need to top off my materials again. All right. The last 3 spaces are going to be... Gonna deal with this guy real quick. The last 3 are brick, brick, chiseled. And the final layer of this level is going to be brick, chiseled. Yep, I thought I did that wrong, and I confirmed it with the other side. Chiseled first. When I said brick, what I looked at was a brick slab. These are chiseled on the ends. It's going to be 1 cracked here, a couple of bricks here, and a couple tiles here. That is the base floor done. The Spire of Askuraan starting to shape up a little bit. Not anywhere near being a spire yet, but we've got you know, we've got the floor done. So that's progress. Now we're going to go through, and we don't have to do full layer by layer. We're just, whoops, starting to build up these structures, and we're going to be using more of the soul sand and things like that on this level. But the main kind of standout feature here is each of these getting starting to get built upward. Let's bring this guy over here. Now the deep slate holds up pretty well, but I don't want to risk losing any of the blocks. Even though they are abundant, I don't want to have to go and get more. All right. Now we have to kind of scan through and see where we're going to have to build up. Let me just do a quick look right here. So what's killing me is that well, Mr. Biel, I'm going to lie down and go to sleep. I'd like to keep this healthy sleeping schedule for as long as possible. Have a wonderful rest of your stream. Wish you 0 creepers and infinite diamonds. You have a good one. I will continue to struggle to build my things. But it looks like anywhere that is actual soul sand is built up. So what bums me out is I was using the soil to kind of mix it up a little bit, but it looks like the way they have it done, they had a bunch of points where they had dirt, and that's just because there is something built on top of it. Whereas anywhere that they had marked it having grass, even though there was stuff on top of it, it was just more grass on top of it. So we're going to go through, and just to start, we know anywhere that has soil is going to have another layer of soil on top. And then there will be kind of an inner raised section of the floor, I believe. So we're going to have to see where all that rises up. Yeah, so my idea to use the soil to kind of mix it up and even further is not going to pan out, but that's fine. I just realized I'd wished in advance, so I didn't plan on that, only to have my hopes dashed. All right, so we can kind of assume that all of this is what needs to be raised up, and I might change this later because I don't like having just mounds of dirt on top of it. So I might just cut out all of this stuff, but for now we're going with the schematic as it is designed. Now we're gonna have to go from here 1, 2, 3, 4, right above this one. Actually, that makes it easy. Just next to this is going to be brick slab. And that is going to go out for a total width of 5. So having these does help with kind of finding the points right now. Then it's going to be 2 here. It's going to be 1, 2, and 2 here, and then 5 here. And that would suggest 2 here, 1, 2, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 5, 2 there, 1, 2, 2 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I double placed that one. And then 2 there, 1, 2, 2 there. All right, so that makes it easy. Yeah, so what I want is when you visit the Spire of Askuraan, you can just kind of walk right up to the spire itself. So these are like 99%. These are going to go. But for now, again, they will stay. Cracked is going to go there. And we're going to need to make sure my color scheme is the same here. Bricks. Another tiles. The next layer is going to be... this one is a little harder to determine because the readout for the blueprint still shows the previous layer. So you have reference points, but when it's like a whole mess of different blocks, it's a little bit harder to read like this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop off this. We definitely don't need that anymore. The soul sand might come into play again. I know at a certain point it will, for sure, but that is going to be a ways off, but it might come up in these earlier layers still, so we'll keep that in the inventory. Where am I? Second layer of the inner platform. Well, third layer, actually, considering that's the first. So third layer of the inner platform, that's going to be right here. We're going to start with a tile. A couple of bricks, and then 4 tiles. So we'll place those out, get our bricks in there. Thankfully, this is a much smaller area than the full radius of the main platform. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be cracked and then brick. Yeah, and I think this will look really good without, with those cleared out. I don't know what they were thinking putting grass blocks raised up on the main platform. It just doesn't look good. I say grass blocks because that's what it is in the original schematic, but let's continue. Almost lost my schematic there for a second. Start with a tile again. A brick, cracked. God, this is so hard to keep track of. Couple of tiles, couple of bricks. Cracked. That's not cracked. And 3 tiles. Next layer is thankfully this one has a big chunk in the center where we would be putting glowstone. We're not going to be putting glowstone, but that means that there's a big section that we don't have to fill in while doing this. So that'll cut down on the process a little bit. And I will want to double check with some of these because some of these might use chiseled. And the chiseled and the cracked blocks on this schematic are very close in color, so it can be hard to tell which one you're looking at sometimes. But it seems like I don't have any to worry about right now. It looks like they're not including anything like that just yet. The main tower, the main spire might include chiseled. I'm not sure. But for now, we're good. Thankfully, on this layer, I don't have any soul sand slowing me down, so that's another point where it's kind of nice compared to what we were dealing with the first layer. A couple of cracked here. And then these will be tiles. Yep, so the inner yeah, this is going to be, I'll just mark it out like this with soul sand. I'm not going to fill it in, but I'm going to put that there just so I have a nice reference point for placing the rest of this. It gives me another reference point for determining where I'm at as well, which is fantastic. Some more cracked blocks. There's going to be cracked here. These are going to be tiles. On the other side, we're going to have tiles. We're going to have bricks. A couple of cracked. And another tile. And up here, we cracked. Tiles. Brick. And cracked. Don't know why I said it every time, but it baffles me every time I do that, where I kind of step aside and start putting them in out of order. Yeah, we'll just kind of finish up this layer up to there, and then we'll do the other side and catch up. Layer here, so that'll be cracked, and then these are going to be brick and a tile. And this will be, looks like another cracked. Hold on. I did that wrong. Let's double check. So this should be 4 cracked. Then we should have a brick. Then we get a cracked. Or 2. Tile. And a couple more bricks. Now going back to the other side. We've got some tiles. We've got tiles. Cracked brick tiles. Then on this layer, we've got another tile. And then all bricks. On this level, we've got cracked bricks in the rest. And brick, cracked tile, brick, cracked tile. All right. When I had said that I didn't have soul sand on this level slowing me down anymore, and then I go and put in soul sand as a marker. And then I do want to top off materials here. Chiseled I don't have to worry about too much, but I think the chiseled are going to be the bulk of what makes up the spire and the surrounding pillars, which is why I have so much chiseled compared to anything else. I'm hoping it looks good. It's kind of got these like, the creeper faces, which if we imagine this as not Minecraft, but as some, fantasy design, probably be like some sort of skull patterns in the pillars because it is spires devoted to a powerful undead entity, a powerful undead spellcaster. All right, so in level right above this, we start with bricks. Gonna take a space and some more bricks. In that space, we're gonna do cracked. It's gonna be cracked. That'll be tile. Cracked and tile. It'll be a brick. And then the last three on this level, it's gonna be tile and 2 cracked. Yeah, so you can definitely see, because when I started this, I was full up to 2 spaces, I think. Now, I've used up like half of that, and I'm just building a platform. So it really shows how little there actually is to the main spire. It's mostly the lights filling it, glass panels on the side, and then a framework of deep slate blocks. And then thin spires of deep slate on the outside, which are going to use these wall blocks partially as well. All right, so we are here. That's going to start with another brick. We're going to have a row of cracked tile, a brick, a couple more cracked. That's going to be a brick. And the last 3 on this row going to be same as before. It's going to be a tile and 2 cracked. All right. Finding my place again. It's going to start with some cracked tiles, some cracked cobbled deep slate. I keep calling it cracked because the original block is cracked stone bricks. That's going to go into some bricks. Be cracked one there and there. More bricks. Bricks on the other side. The cracked one there. And we top it off. Which one am I on? Top it off with a tile. Now, I only have 1 tile left in my inventory, so I feel like... Is there only 1 tile left in this section? There's definitely more than 1, so I don't know where I went wrong in my count somewhere, but we're definitely already off. But again, it's just random mess, so it's not something I'm too concerned with, even though I am kind of too concerned with it. We're trying not to be. That doesn't go there. Third layer from the top. That does go there. It's going to be brick, tile, brick, brick, brick. cracked, tile, cracked, cracked. And then the final layer we have to build on is going to be tile, tile, brick, cracked, tile. So I seem to be 4 deep slate tiles short in some manner. I still have cobbled and bricks, though. I'm not sure how those play into the rest of the build. But that is it for this layer. What I could do is just fill this in with some cracked blocks and some bricks, and just hope that I don't actually need those later. If I do, I guess I can always just go get more, but the hope is that I won't have to get more. The hope is that I've got enough bricks here, which is the whole point of getting all the blocks in advance. So we're going to pick that up because we don't need those marking the space anymore. And we're going to go to the next level, which has a lot less we have to look at. On the outside, we've got more of our chiseled blocks. And we're probably going to have to start using scaffolding as these continue to go up because they're just a tall, narrow pillar. So nothing for us to like climb on to continue building upward. But we've got that. Now we have the start of the base of the spire. So we've got the inner 3. So let's kind of mark this out. Because that would be glowstone, and immediately surrounding that we have chiseled stone bricks. And those spaces immediately under those would have lights in them as well. There's no empty space there. Corners we have filled in. And then we're going to need to start bringing in our stairs. These actually go out like this on all sides. Because then we're going to put stairs in these spaces. And you're starting to see what will be the Spire of Askuraan. Yeah, so what we might do... Okay, so every layer after, at this point now... Oh, we've got a friend.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. I have some frog lights for you to test out, and you can see what color you would like to use.
Ooh, nice. Got
And then
options.
just throw any ones that you don't want back at me.
Apparently there's an achievement for having them all.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna put these down. Yeah, so I think this one is the way to go. Can I just break them with my hand? Yeah.
Yep. So then I will trade you, give you all of these. And if I get any more, I will deliver some to you.
Sounds good. I absolutely appreciate it. It's always incredible having a Nova Swarm
They're
pilot.
a lot prettier.
Come in to be like, hey, that material, that would be more work for you to get. Here's just a bunch of it.
Yep. I don't actually have like a complete farm for it yet. I still need to build it, but I've been lazy slash working on other things. So
Yeah. Yeah, so the central spire will be lit up with these, and then these pillars on the outside, which are going to be taller as well, are going to have some soul sand burning on top of them.
Ah, so
And
you're just
all
gonna
of
have like these all lit up too, or
no, these I'm going to get rid of. I didn't like this aspect of the schematic, but I was just going with it for now. I am going to
ah,
keep the soul sand in the ground, possibly.
okay.
We're gonna see about that. But yeah, I just put I put this layer in because I was just going with the schematic for the time being, uh, while we were figuring things out. Because this was originally not deep slate or soul sand or anything. The schematic is for like stone bricks and dirt and grass, and all of the soul sand would have been grass. And I don't know what they were thinking having just like a full grass block like up in the middle like that.
Maybe to like add some like flora to it, but yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like having just like the clean path to walk up, and then you've got the whole structure. I think that'll look better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got more building to do.
Good luck. I will hop out and play with my frogs more to get more frog lights.
Well, you have fun with that.
Bye bye.
All right. Um, where's my schematic? There it is. Okay. So, looks like I'm gonna have to go grab my scaffolding, but for a moment we're still good. Throw glass onto the page here, onto the action bar page. Yeah, so I think we'll have a better idea what it'll look like once we get a few layers in, but I think this is going to turn out pretty well. And then on the corners here, we need to put in some walls. So I don't think we're going to need soul sand for a while. So put in the walls here. Some extra kind of decoration around that. The outer four are going to go with walls as well. The inner 16 are going to be more chiseled blocks. So they're not all the pillars aren't uniform to all the other pillars, but they are symmetrical, I believe. Like all the way up. Yeah, this build we might do kind of what we're planning with some of the Atlan Grove builds, where we finish building it and then see if there's any changes we want to make, because it is harder for me to kind of visualize what it's going to be like fully, without at least starting it first. I don't think we're going to need our shovel for now. We'll keep that in the inventory, though. There we go. Top off some of our material here. All right. Next layer You know, what I might do is I might do all the layers for the outer pillars first and then do the main structure. Um, because that might be just a little bit more convenient. Whoops. Give that one a next run. I didn't have enough for all of them anyway, so we'll just... You know what? We'll do this a quadrant at a time. Because I don't have enough scaffolding to put on all of them all at the same time anyway, so... Yeah, we'll focus quarter at a time. Alright, so we're gonna have another wall here. Whoop. Gonna have another chiseled block here. And we're gonna have... Okay. I see how this layout goes now. So, like, the corner ones are gonna be shortest, and then these ones, and then those ones. Is my guess. Again, still symmetrical, but there are effectively 3 different heights to it. Oh, and these would have... Normally, these would be glowstone lamps with a slab on top. Instead, we're doing soul sand that'll have fire on top. So we're not actually going to use all of these slabs as intended. Instead, we're going to do things a little bit differently because we're rebels and we do what we want. Chiseled stone brick, and then that one would have a slab. This one's going to be another stone brick. Followed by our soul sand. All right, so that is sort of the... That is the archetype of the pillars. So this one will have another bit of that. And this one is going to have a couple blocks on top and a soul sand on top of there. All right. So now that we know the basic layout, the rest of these should go pretty quickly. God, I hate how these place so much. They never do what I want them to do. All right, so this is going to be... Just double check. That. Wrong one. There we go. This will be another block, and then our soul sand. This will be just our soul sand. Cool. Nope. The soul sand slowed me down too much where I couldn't clear that gap without sprinting. Oh no, I've placed the wrong block. Let's pick that up real quick. Don't want to risk Wasting materials. There we go. And here we're going to need another block, soul sand, soul sand. And I think when that's lit up, I think that'll look pretty neat. Those blocks just straight up being a light, I think, with the original design, it being a redstone lamp would look better, but there is no way to light that up without putting like redstone torch on top of it or a redstone block or something that would kind of ruin the design. And having the blue fire also just looks really cool. I can picture some changes like what am I thinking? Like having the middle one be a block taller, having that one be a block taller. Maybe this one, it's where it's like just one level of difference off on each of them instead of one and then two. But I also might be overthinking it. It might be perfectly fine as is. Really no issue with the design currently, honestly. Just thinking of ways that it might be slightly improved. Potentially. But it's also one of those things where for me to have a good idea on if I would actually like it or not, I would have to do it and see. All right. So that is all of the outer spires. I didn't bring my a tool with me to light them up, but I'm pretty sure that is all of the soul sand for now. The rest would be used for the beacon that will be added in after the fact on top of the spire once the whole structure is built. But we're gonna see how much of the rest of it we can knock out in the next 20 minutes. So do you have that habit of just going 3 hours? So maybe we'll try to stick with that. This might go before I can light them all. So let me see if I have another bit of iron to make another flint and steel. Put our iron back in here. Put the rest of the bones and the arrows in here since we're down here. All right. Yeah, so I think that's all the soul sand. You can already see it from here. It would look even better if you saw it with the pillars ignited. So we're going to do that, and I think it's going to look pretty neat from down below, seeing even just the pillars without the rest of the spire. You know, I'm doing this whole build based off of a character, an NPC concept for D&D. And I'm realizing that I've never actually used that NPC as... Oh, that one was a problem. You get out of here. I got stuff to fix. All right, let's put everything back. I really wish that hadn't happened. That is so annoying. It looks like it didn't mess with the actual structure, so I think we're just replacing dirt. That is one aspect that I really like a lot more about playing Bedrock. I don't generally play Bedrock because I like playing with mods and stuff, but in Bedrock, you can't swing faster than your weapon's optimized speed. Your weapon speed is locked to its optimized speed. So you wouldn't have situations where you deal less damage and have to hit the thing more to kill it. Because I know in that situation, if I hit the creeper once and then hit it 2 more times with proper speed, it's going to be gone. But because I did that too slow, the creeper ended up blowing stuff up and risked losing materials and stuff, which not likely to be an issue ever, but because deep slate is pretty hardy material, it seems like. But the threat is always there, and they have you know there is a way where it wouldn't be an issue anymore. But I guess maybe the resolution there to fix my issue is getting good. Oh, I wonder if maybe I should do trap doors on the soul sand. I'll have to look up what there are for trap doors, see if there's one that's like a dark gray color to match the deep slate. And by checking, I mean asking the server, because these guys have some pretty keen understanding and knowledge about the game. So I think some of the crew is a bit newer to Minecraft, but all of our incredible Nova Swarm buddies and Neff and all those guys, they know what they're doing better than I do. Let's offload some of the scrap that I was just put into my inventory from these enemies. I already lit these ones. Don't need to light these ones. I will need to light these ones. I'll need to light these ones. It's a bit too far away. And I will need to light these ones. Spruce or darkwood maybe would match well. So we'll have to take a look at that. I'm not familiar with darkwood. But we'll have to see if that would be a good option. Along with spruce could also work. Let's see. Don't need the soil. Don't think I need the sand. Do need the lights. All right, so I kind of want to go down there and take a look at it now that these are lit, but it would be even better to gauge looking at it at night. So maybe I'll wait until the next nightfall to take a look at these and see how they go. Oh, dark wood, like dark oak is probably the thing. Yeah, that would probably be the best fit. It's still kind of a brownish color, but I think it is as dark as you can get. I wonder. I'd be tempted maybe to try one of the Nether trapdoors. See if that might be a good fit. Yeah. So okay. So what I was thinking is we've got 4 blocks, right, and then we've got 2 wall blocks there, kind of separating it. Here we've got 4 blocks. We could do 1 wall block. Don't blow up more of this, you bastard. At least it gave me enough dirt to fix it. So if we raise this up by 1 with a pillar, and then have this one be 4 blocks, then all of the pillars have 4 chiseled blocks. And then the thing changing their elevation from each other would be the walls in the middle. So I might do that. We'll see. This isn't bad as it is, but I think I might like that idea of having them a little bit more uniform with each other by having them all have 4 blocks for the main part of the pillar. I think that could look good. Okay, so back to the main spire. We're going to have more of our lights, and honestly, I could cut down on the usage of lights by cutting out the middle ones. That's a really good idea. I think that's gonna have to happen. I can get rid of these bottom ones, and I can just fill this in. Because these aren't serving any purpose being down here, because you can't see down here anyway. And look at how many lights this would have wasted. Now, I'll just have to... Let's see, what do I have? I have some chiseled deep slate still. You know what? Let's go and you know, we're just gonna grab some dirt to fill that space in. That's fine. It's an area you're not gonna see anyway, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't match the materials around it. I think later on I might see about filling in some of that stuff because it is kind of, you know, if you've, it's far enough away from the spire. I don't really need to worry about it. And the spire is kind of the extent of my territory up here. So, might as well get rid of these torches now that I've got the structure started. I don't need their reference points anymore. And then I'm almost certain I didn't get enough dirt to do this completely, but yeah, we'll get more dirt. And then I could just go down down below. I know we've got a bunch of dirt and stuff set aside over at the build site for the tavern, but I'm up here is the thing. So it's easier to just grab from the dirt that's up here. That's far enough off that I'm not going to be messing with like the view of this place. I'd be tempted to kind of do kind of like Meg did with her kind of like nether corruption of her area. And I don't know if I would necessarily do it with like nether stuff, but doing some sort of like something that looks like the area around the spire is being corrupted. Make it look more dead. and whatnot. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what the best way to do that would be. We are actually going to need our slabs. Apparently, we're going to use them right here. Now I wonder, is there something on top of the slab? Well, there's another slab. Which, it bugs me that they did that instead of just having it be written out as being a block. That's just an issue I have with the design of this schematic. Not even a major issue, just I think it's you know, when you do it where like you have um a half block there and a half block there, making basically a full block between spaces where you couldn't put a full block, that's fine. But doing it where you could fully easily just do a full block, that's just like, that's nonsense. Why make me go to the trouble of getting slabs specifically when I could just do it with a normal block? And then we're going to do this. And these are actually going to cross over here. Yeah, so the entire spire is actually going to be like these chiseled blocks, which, yeah, again, if you think about it looking like skulls to match the undead theme, I think that's pretty cool. I think that fits really well. And my scaffolding is actually just going to have to go like this. Because I'm going to have to put stairs like so. And I'm probably going to have to end up having my scaffolding wrap around or have multiple points because I'll probably have to do this up on higher levels as well. Now, I hope, like, this is a full light block, so, whoops. I wanted to do this. Because, yeah, that's 14, which I think that's a fair amount of brightness for just a normal block. So I think it should be pretty brightly lit. I mentioned this because I was looking, you know, at that section down here. Granted, it's full daylight out, so you can't really see the contrast of how it projects light, but it just felt dark a little bit, and I was just kind of worried that like it might end up being like the soul lights that I used in Atlan Grove, where there's still potential for them to spawn things, I'm pretty sure, in the structures. Because they don't fully light up the area well enough without, you know, being really close to the ground and stuff. And, you know, I could probably get away with cutting out the ones here that are covered, but let's see. Because what, this down to there, right? Because that's open. Yeah, so let's take all these. We'll just do a dirt block to get out of here that we'll break because we don't care about losing a single dirt block. And then these we can do this way. This way we're not asking quite so much to be gathered for us. I'll just leave those spaces open. I'm not worried about it. It's fine. It's probably fine. I'm not going to worry about it. It's fine. So this is going to be layer 9. Which this is actually also going to be a covered layer. So I'll have to get rid of the ones I just placed. There we go. These ones... See, I should have checked that in advance. These ones will actually be visible. We'll just finish up this layer. And then we'll probably call the stream here. Because we are coming up to that point. Hold on, let me check. That's stone slab. That's stone slab upper. So okay, so I was misinterpreting what I had done down below. So I'm gonna fix that real quick before we leave as well. Because there actually is a gap between the slabs here, so it doesn't have the issue that I was saying I thought it was gonna have. These are gonna be normally arranged stairs. Whoops, that one was upside down. Yep, so the next layer will have glass. We'll deal with that. Okay, yeah, I get it now. So these bits are like capped on each point. Except for here, they didn't do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now, you know what? Because again, limited materials. I'm not going to burn them now on my design changes. I will come back for it later and do it then. There we go. So that's all set. I definitely think it will look better probably with that done in that way. And I don't think each layer is going to be just too high. I think they might have some layers that are taller. So I think that'll look good. It is night, so before we sign off here, I think... There we go. I want to put my stuff away and get down below and see how these lit pillars look from the ground. We're going to keep that in my inventory. That's been useful so far. Yeah, I want to see how these lit pillars look from the ground. Whoops. Trying to top off the stuff in my inventory, and I'm instead throwing things in the chest. I don't think this cobbled deep slate is going to get used. So we'll put that away. And you can see we've used the bulk of the materials. The rest of it is just a relatively small amount of materials that will go into making the main spire about, I think, 30... I think it is 31 blocks tall. I think it is fully a 31 block cube. 31 on all sides. So we're going to get down here and we're going to take a look and see. Can we see the fires? Oh, we can see the fires. I like how that looks. And you're going to be able to see like the main spire once it's taller. Obviously, like it's being cut off by the view from the hill. I know my render distance, which I could probably turn up a little bit, cuts off right around here where the tavern is. Oh, I love those hanging lanterns. They look so good. You can kind of see it from over here. You can start to see the main spire just peeking up there. I think you can see some of the frog lights. But yeah. Almost all the way back at spawn. If I had my render distance turned up, you would be able to see it. That's looking good. I am really enjoying how it's shaping up so far. And we'll definitely pick up the rest next week when we get back in here, finish up the Spire of Askuraan, and maybe work on some of our design changes to it. This stream was mostly taken up by building the main platform, which I absolutely I feel like I should have done off stream. Having gone through the process now, it took a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought at most it'd be like an hour, and it took a lot longer than that. So, that's going to be it for me. I think we're going to call the stream here. And, yeah, next time we'll pick up finishing up the Spire. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be streaming next week, so keep posted for a schedule. Figure out all that stuff when that goes up. Otherwise, have a good one, everybody. Everybody who's been watching, who's been chatting, who's been lurking, who's checking out the VODs on YouTube after the fact. Thank you guys for coming by. I appreciate it, absolutely. And we'll see you guys next time.